Jimmy's been tough in preparation. In seconds. Fall softball is something that average assistant softball doesn't think about it. It's a really important time for your team.
It's a challenging really about the process. In the fall to get ready for the game days.
Success has been around the ESU Softball program for the last several years. Two-time regional host, a World Series appearance, a win in the World Series. You've been with the program now in your 9th season here at ESU. What has it meant to you to be able to come to a program and really turn it into a successful program?
It's been a long road, but now we're finally where we want to be. We want to be regionally ranked. We want to be a national competitor. And I think, the last 2 years, they really did a good job building the foundation, and now we just want to take off with that. We've got a lot of talent returning. We graduated some key players, but, just looking at us in the fall, I think we replaced some of those players with some really talented new players between transfers and freshmen. And, we just, coming off a game day yesterday, we played at Lehigh University. We played them very well, and it's a pretty exciting time to be a Warrior.
Do you get to determine your opponents in the fall schedule?
Yeah, we do.
So that you can go up and play any level of talent. It's got to be a good experience for your team to get some D1 competition.
Yeah, sure. Our fall schedule is pretty stacked. We get the support to be able to do that, so we're thankful for that. So we just came off and played Lehigh University. This Sunday we'll play at Penn State. We're playing at Villanova. And then we have Lafayette home. So.
Talk about the leaders of your team coming into this season.
Well, we're working on that right now. We have what we call a leadership group, and they're leading the way right now. They're working really hard at practice, and that's expected. But the freshmen and the new players are following their lead, and we have a lot of talent on the field. So it's nice to see that talent, and then you can bring those young players in, and they kind of shadow underneath them and kind of groom them into filling that void when they graduate, so they can step right into that spot.
Tell us a little bit about that process. What's that like? I mean, you've obviously recruited players that you need to fill holes. If you're losing a shortstop, you might want to recruit a shortstop. So how does the acclimation process work for you and your team?
Well, I think, you're coming off a good year. So when you're out recruiting, you got to look, hey, if I'm graduating a player at a certain position, I need someone to come right in and fill those shoes as we're developing those players over the year or two as well. And I also think with winning and success also recruits itself, right? Players want to be a Warrior. Players want to come here. We're doing good things. And it's not just the softball program, but all the programs around us are doing great. So why wouldn't you want to come and be a Warrior? Our facilities are amazing. So I think when you have it all going on and all our teams support each other, it makes for a really awesome experience as a university as a whole, and it's a pretty cool place to be.
Talk about the home field advantage at Creekview Park, because it's a facility unlike any other, really.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, it's a beautiful field, but then also in February, we can get a snow day, and 2 days later, we're playing on our field where, when we had the dirt field and our opponents with the dirt field in the Northeast, you have to wait until all that melting and all that goes away. So from that standpoint, we have an advantage with weather, and then also it's just a beautiful layout in a country setting with baseball and softball. You can't beat it.
Coach, thanks. A couple of minutes of your time. I know we're going to meet some of your players later on tonight. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We're going to turn over to Jimmy Terwilliger now. Bye week. What does an ESU football coach do on a bye week? I know it's some preparation, but you told me 2 weeks ago one of the things in your plan was to give the staff a couple of days off so that they could rest and recoup. And I know that it's a great time to have a bye week because of where it shows up on your schedule.
I'm really appreciative of our university administration and everybody who supported the opportunity to move to a week 0 opponent so that we could be able to have a bye week mid-season. Football, Chuck, you've done it for a long time. It's a gladiator sport. It's week in and week out, and being able to have an opportunity to have a week where we can kind of get back to basics, get some younger guys the reps. Our coaches can actually be fathers, husbands at some point during the day was really neat. And for us, getting a break in the action so that we can get prepared for Pennsylvania Conference in-season play in the east side was outstanding. So I wouldn't say it was a week off, but I would say it was a refocused week. We went back to basics. We had some modified practices, and we got a ton of the young guys who haven't had reps doing our stuff in the last 2 weeks, some good reps there. So it was very good for us, and I really appreciate our university administration for supporting that.
Well, let's look at this battle coming up on Saturday night. It's the PSAC East home opener. Kutztown and ESU are at the top of the conference, and both offenses and defenses, you guys are right there with each other. It's going to be a great battle.
Should be. It's been a great battle the last couple years, and it's one of those games that you try not to circle any of them on the schedule the year in advance. You try to take every game as it is, but when you have two teams that play at a high level, two national championship or national playoff teams, I think that comes natural. It'll be a great game in the house, the Denny Build. I'm looking forward to it. Our mentality has been kind of the same. Hey, let's refine our processes. Let's do the things that we need to do to be successful and play our style of game. And I'm sure Kutztown will be the same. So it'll be a great one Saturday night. I look forward to it underneath the lights, and be a great game to open up with.
You look at the rosters of both of these teams, and they're full of fifth and even in some cases 6-year players. We're starting to see the end of that cycle, but it has left these two teams with some pretty talented rosters.
I think the difference between East Stroudsburg and maybe some of the other Pennsylvania Conference schools, I think it's mirrored at Kutztown, is when you have good programs, people come and they stay. And they play and they do the things that we need to do. So you look down at our roster and you see guys that have been here for 3, 4, 5 years. It shows that people come here because they love it. And like Jamie said, it's a special place. It's special people. Success breeds success, as Dr. Snook will always tell you. And what I would tell you is this is, when you look at our program, the guys that have been here, the longevity and what they're doing, success will follow that if you're doing it the right way.
Well, we're seeing a lot of success on the fields here at East Stroudsburg University. Again, thanks to Coach Jaime Wohlbach. Thanks to Coach Jimmy Terwilliger for getting us started. We're going to meet some of the players for both the women's softball team and the football team, so stay with us as the ESU Coaches Show continues here from Teddy's University. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
No tough questions for Jamie.
I was quick with it. You almost was on air, probably.
Appreciate it, man. James, what do you want up first?
You got it?
No, so I'll slide over.
I need a pen.
You want to throw that card now? Someone got to go on the other
Yeah, so one
Got
of
it.
these gonna You're closest.
Hold my hand.
This is live. So any mistakes that we make are all on me.
I just didn't want you tripping on that.
Tell me your names.
Shannon.
You're Shannon.
And that would make you Sarah. And you Kaylee. Last name? And what's your position here? Third base. Hot corner.
Right. You told multiple.
What do you ask?
Basically.
You're not asking us.
Sarah's a sophomore at B, right? And Kaylee, what year is she? So maybe we'll talk a little bit about your acclimation process. We'll see how it goes, Kaylee.
no rundowns. I'll tell you what. I'll ask you first.
And that's it?
No, but at least you'll get the break.
No, I can't go for it.
Well, I'm going to introduce you first because you're at the far right. That's how I do it. Okay. All right. I will treat you gently. I promise. I promise. No hard questions. No hard questions. I am all good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Just throw a lot of promises out there.
I know. I know. I know. I know. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We're live at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg. We're here every Monday night at 5 o'clock throughout the fall sports season, but we're talking a spring sport that has a fall season. We were just talking with head coach Jaime Wohlbach of the ESU Warrior Softball team, so I'd like to introduce the players that have come to join us. Third baseman, sophomore Kaylee Watson is to my outside right. Shannon Edelman is a senior infielder, played first base last year for ESU, and Sarah Davenport, a pitcher for the ESU softball team. Kaylee, I'm going to start with you because we talked with Coach Wohlbach about having to bring younger players in. You're replacing a third baseman here at ESU, Riley Vicendes, who had a great career. So I don't know if the expectations are what you're feeling right now, but you come ready to play and ready to go. And talk about what that's been like here being on campus for just about a month.
Obviously, I'm nervous because Riley was such a good player, but coach and the team is really supportive, and it's nice to have like a family environment.
I guess you kind of felt that in making your decision to come here at ESU?
Yes, everyone is so nice, and the school is such a good campus, even outside of athletics.
You won't. I guess you've had some Division I opposition in the fall season so far. What are the things that you've noticed different from, the high school game to the college game, and actually seeing some D1 talent as well?
It's really strong. You have to come out wanting to win it right away and have really good energy.
Well, Kelly, we wish you the best of luck in the season ahead. I'm going to turn to Shannon Edelman. A position at first base, it's sometimes considered to be like the anchor of the infield. You might help in positioning some of the players. So what's that been like in your career here at East Stroudsburg? You have moved around a couple of different places behind the plate as well. What's your favorite position?
I'm liking first.
You are like
Yeah.
I have to say that was one of the positions I really liked in the limited years that I played, neighborhood baseball as a teenager. But first base was always the position I seemed to like because, again, you kind of had the opportunity to lead the infield that way. Now, you're a senior on the team this year. Talk about that leadership role that the seniors are expected to take on here at ESU.
It's been fun leading the team and getting them hype before the games, during the games, all throughout the games, in the dugout, on the field, at practice, during the down times. Got to get the energy up. So it's fun. And being at first, I can really talk to my pitchers. So I'm always hollering at Dabs when she's striking people out, walking people, always in their ear, talking to the team, talking to the infield. It's just fun.
Apart from the chatter that you hear in the dugout from softball and baseball as well, there is a real need to have that communication. As Kaylee could tell you over at the third base corner, you're on the opposite side. So, what is the key to good communication amongst the infielders?
I think having chemistry together, we do really well as a team with that. We all love each other like a family. So knowing when someone's down, how to pick them up, how to get that energy up, and just maintaining a high level of energy when we're playing these good competitions in the fall, and then when we hit it hard with the PSAC in the spring.
Coming up, you've got a couple of more games left. How many fall games have you played? You played Lehigh yesterday. That was the first one of the fall so far?
Yeah, so we had Lehigh yesterday, and then we have Penn State, Villanova, and Lafayette.
Wow, I'm going to turn to your pitcher, Sarah Davenport. What's it like to be able to face that Division I talent on the softball field?
It's really hard, but it's great getting that experience out there with those players, being able to help my team and do what I can. This fall season is a chance for me to know what I need to work on over the winter so I can get better and be prepared in the spring.
You had such a great start to your career here at East Stroudsburg University. Do you consider, I've got to top this, I have to have more strikeouts, or I have to give up less hits, or I have to have less walks, or is it more just a matter of working on your technique?
It's both. Being able to help my team the best I can and doing whatever I can to help them win, that's my goal in the end. Everything else it's an honor to have, all the accolades and awards, but my main goal is to help my team do whatever I can help them. So
take me through your pregame routine. What's your pregame warm-up? Because in some cases you don't start. You've come out of the bullpen a lot last year. You did get the chance to make starts as well. So that has to change your routine a little bit, right? Between or no, you say, well, I still may pitch 6 innings or 7 innings in a game. So does your routine change, knowing that your role might be different?
It doesn't really change. I'm very superstitious with how I warm up. So it's pretty much the same. I grab my catcher Gigi, she comes out with me, and I do the same warm up before each game. Sometimes I'll go out and do a few pitches each here and there, but pretty much it's the same, and just making sure I'm ready to go for whichever game I'm going to end up pitching.
Why is that important to you?
Does it
help you find a rhythm, or does it help help you mentally?
Yeah, it helps me get in the game, get in the zone, get prepared to go out there and pitch. Just having the same routine over and over gets me in the right headspace.
Well, Sarah, I want to thank you and your teammates Shannon and Kaylee. Did I do all right? Will you come back again? Yeah. All right, awesome. I did all right. We'll be back with more of the ESU Coaches Show. We've got a special surprise coming up a little bit later on in the show tonight, so I want you to stay with us. We've got all the usual suspects, including AJ's View, at the end of the show tonight. Stay tuned. We're going to meet more of the Warrior football team when we come back from this break on the ESU Coaches Show. And a reminder that we've got live coverage of the PSAC Eastern Division opener Saturday night at 5:30 on Bigfoot Country 96.7 and 97.3, and we stream every game online at BigfootPoconos.com. Back with more of the Coaches Show right after this. Woo, woo, woo. Soon there's going to be a glare off my head, Matt. It's awful. All right, I'm going to bring this a little closer because I got some numbers to talk with you guys here. Shift some statistics. It's all good. I'm ready. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. We're at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg. I'm Chuck Seese. We're here every Monday night at 5 p.m. So if you'd like to come join us for another version of the Coaches Show, we've got about 6 weeks left in the season. So you have the opportunity to come down and say hello to the gang and some student athletes that are here every week. To my left, Matt Frame, ESU Warrior fullback. To my right, ESU tight end Beau Heyser. Guys, you guys are on a roll right now with a week off. What did it mean for you to be able to rest and relax for a couple of days before getting to work for Kutztown?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get our bodies back. All we have to worry about now is Kutztown. We don't got to worry about our bodies being sore and all that from other games. It gives us an extra week to prepare, so it's going to help out a lot.
Shout out to you for your first touchdown. What was it like to catch that touchdown pass? Take us through that play. Little swing pass to the outside flat.
Yeah, I appreciate that, by the way. But, yeah, ran out in the flat. Nobody was there. When there's 4 yards, it's a guaranteed touchdown. So it's definitely nice to get the first one.
I don't want to go through the playbook necessarily, but are you considered to be the first option on a play like that?
No, it's so they're gonna read the run first. But when he throws it out, yeah, second option, I would say.
Well, we'll get back to that, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about Kutztown, but I'm going to turn over to your buddy for a second. Beau Heyser, tight end with the ESU Warriors. In 21 games, 21 receptions, 345 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. The touchdowns are nice, but there's more about the tight end position. I mean, the tight end, we saw the tight end over the weekend, right? If you're a Philly Eagles fan, or if you're a fantasy player, Dallas Goedert, I mean, went off at the tight end position. It can happen when you have, in their case, they had wide receivers that were hurt, so they needed other guys to step up. But, you've taken touchdown passes, long passes, short passes, but your responsibility is more than just the passing game. So talk about that a little bit.
It's good. I mean, we're kind of like a hybrid of playing receiver and like offensive line. We're guys. Everyone wants to be a receiver. Everyone wants to catch the ball, but like some guys gotta get down and dirty, get physical. So I mean, it's nice to be able to do both those things and just go out there and do what we love.
Talk about your preparation, because you do have to do more than catch a pass. You've got to be relied upon in the blocking scheme. So how does that make your focus a little bit different?
I mean, it definitely makes it a lot harder for us. I think we play a pretty tough position, and the coaches and the players definitely ask a lot of us. But I think we're all like pretty smart and bright kids, and we love playing football. So I think we're just ready to go out there and just attack as best we can.
You've got a pretty good upperclassman. Following. I don't know, maybe following in the footsteps isn't fair, but you got a guy like Dawson Stewart who at one point was a quarterback. So I mean, you think what his mind goes through from the way he can process things. That's got to give you a pretty good advantage to kind of sometimes see things through his eyes.
It's definitely nice. It's kind of like having like a second coach out there, like having him, like even we're out there like on the field sometimes, like if I'm ever like unsure of what I'm doing, I can always just like ask him really quick and he'll like tell me what to do. So it's always nice having a guy like Dawson who's like been a veteran, he's been through it like over and over again. So having a guy like that's really good.
A team that had 9 wins last season, and 9 wins is that's rare territory for a lot of teams. I went through and I charted all the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference schools, and there aren't many teams that have had as many 9-win seasons as the Warriors have had recently. So you rarefied air, and you have to think that maybe you can get to 10 or 11 this year. What's that part of your thought process this season, or are you still doing it one game at a time?
I think we definitely can. I mean, we always just say 1-0. You want to go 1-0 every single week, but I think you got to give a lot of credit to the coaches. I mean, they've all built a great program here, so we're just lucky and we're blessed to be able to come through and just do what we can to be the best that we can every day.
Matt's a younger guy in the program. You've had a little more experience. You've got up against Kutztown. What are you telling these young guys on the team about the Kutztown rivalry and what it takes to play at their level?
I mean, I would just say it's a great opportunity. They're a very good team. They're a ranked opponent. But the last 2 years, we've lost by less than 1 score both times. So we definitely owe those guys one. So I think if we just go out there and do what we can, we should be able to beat them.
Yeah, when you take a look at the 2 losses that you had on your schedule last year, Kutztown and Shepherd, you've got them both at home this year. So it really gives you an opportunity to maybe, use a little bit of that home field advantage.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't lost at home in a long time. I mean, I can't even remember the last time we lost at home. So the momentum's definitely going to help out a lot.
What are you looking forward to with the matchup this weekend against Kutztown?
Making a statement. This is a team that every year that I was here lost in a really tight game, and it's heartbreaking every time. But this is the year that we're going to turn it around.
Turn it around. It's a theme we've heard a lot this week with ESU football as they get set for their matchup against the Kutztown Golden Bears Saturday night. We'll have live coverage on Bigfoot Country 96.7 and 97.3, starting with the Warrior pregame show at 5:30. The kickoff at 6:05. Thanks to Matt Frame.
Thank you.
Thanks to Beau Heyser. We're going to talk to ESU more Warrior players as well as one of the Warrior coaches. So stay with us. We're not done yet. The ESU Coaches Show coming you tonight from Teddy's Tavern and Teddy's University here in Stroudsburg. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Big man. Great job. Your guys are nuts. Hey, you were special. You were special. Your guys are special. It's burned into my brain, man. How are you, sir? Good. How about you? Nice that you got one. Yes. Yes. I do like that. I wish it were brighter in here, but that's actually all good.
All good in the hood. Welcome back to the ESU Coaches Show. I'm Chuck Seese. We're probably starting the second half of the show right now, but we've got a great way to start it off with ESU running backs and special teams coach Matt Hagelgans, who is at ESU here in his 4th season. In your tenure here at ESU, you've had a first team PSAC running back in Gunnar Anglovich. Tyreek Lewis has been an all conference selection as well, and you've had the opportunity to tutor Devin Bartholomew to some all PSAC seasons. So what is it like for you to step into a program and have great success with running backs that are real great names in ESU history?
Well, I think, when I got here, throughout ESU's history, we've always been, pass and everything we've done in the passing game. And, of course, Jimmy's been a great quarterback, and Coach Terwilliger, with all of his, experience and everything he's done with the quarterback. And I've just been really fortunate to be able to get in here at a good time when we've had some really talented running backs as well. And, when I got here, we made it a priority to recruit the top running backs that we could at the position that we could find. And I feel like we've done that here over the past 4 years. Me and Tyreek Lewis, I joke with him, there's no Matt Hagelgans at ESU without Tyreek Lewis at this point, the past 4 years. And he's been everything to this program, a true warrior, heck of a player, and we've been able to bring in, Tahir Mills and Deontay Crawford and guys who can really get it done. On the special team side, I was fortunate, to have Devin. I think we got 2 really good kickers now who could carry on that legacy with Ty Quintos and Adam Knoll. I think Ty's a really talented place kicker. I just want to shout out Justin Cook as well, who's an all-conference returner, who has a chance to break the school record, who we're really working to try to do that as well. So, we're just working every day to try to do as best we can, and all those things come afterwards. It's about the work, about the practice, and then hopefully they can perform in the game, and those things come along.
What's the key to a good return, whether it's a punt return or a kick return? And there's probably more than one thing, but, if you had to tick off 2 or 3 things that are key to a successful return, what is it?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you're asking this right now because, to this point in the season, the return units has actually been something that we're trying to improve upon, as we've gotten started. It's been a little bit of something that where we're used to having success, we haven't had as much success this year. So you asked that question is great because we've really had to evaluate what goes into making those units really good. And I think the number one thing is just having, synergy on the units, having great field awareness, and being able to understand, what is your 1/11th in the job and the return. And if everybody is able to accomplish that, we know we have a really special returner who can get us to where we need to go. So even if you have the best returner, you still need all 10 guys getting it done. So, great field awareness, great fundamentals, and just make sure everybody's working together to try to get it to where everybody wants it to be. So it's been a big emphasis for us this week.
Matt Hagelgans, running backs and special teams coach here at East Stroudsburg University with the Warrior football team. Let's bounce back to the running backs because it is a deep running back room. They all know that they have a role, and the way we have seen it so far, it's okay, first series Tyreek, then the next series might be Tahir, or maybe sometimes it almost seems like quarter by quarter. Yeah. But the advantage of that is that you can bring a guy like Deontay Crawford in, fresh legs, and he can start powering through the line.
100%. And the one who, and I'm glad you mentioned Deontay because he's really a special player.
And plus he does some nice returns for you as well.
Absolutely. He's a special player, and we try to find opportunities to get him the ball when we can. And, a lot of times in the third quarter, I'll turn to Tahir and I'll say, hey, Tub, you're going to go finish this thing in the fourth quarter, and I know he's going to be able to do that because his legs are fresh. And what I wanted to do here is try to get quality players where, it's not week 1, week 2, week 3 that we're pounding it, and then week 11 we're starting to fade away. I feel like we're building something here where when it comes time to get into those big games in November, we're going to have guys who are fresh, who feel like they've gotten the reps to be successful, and they're ready just to play as if it was week 1. So it's series by series with those guys. If one gets hot, we'll let them roll, but they understand it. They understand that it's they do it together, and each other's success is their success, and they bought into it, and it's a really fantastic thing.
How difficult was it for you to get that selling point? Because ESU, you think the passing offense, you think Jimmy Terwilliger, you think all the Harlan Hill candidate quarterbacks that have come through ESU, and you say, if I'm a running back, why would I think about coming to ESU? But you really have, the program has changed that priority. I mean, I'd probably go back. I mean, it's never been this deep, right? But when you go back to backs like Robert Healy, who was a great running back for this program, he didn't have the core of running backs behind him, but he took a chance on ESU and turned out to have one of the best careers ever.
Well, I think really the springboard, what it was, Gunnar Anglovich being able to kind of step forward in that 1 year when we had some injuries, and he was at one point the leader in the PSAC in rushing.
Lehigh Valley back that hurt his in camp, and Devontae got hurt, and Gunnar kind of stepped up, and then he was the all-conference back, and Tyreek was in the program and kind of saw Gunnar's preparation, and then that success, it allowed us to be able to go out. Jimmy said the year after that, he goes, "Hey, we need to go get some tailbacks. Let's go get them." So it was a great, we worked on it, recruiting. Jimmy was really open about what we wanted to do in the run game. We had great tight ends, and it was just kind of fell into our lap that with the personnel that we had, we were able to let these guys shine, and hopefully we're starting to build something that we can continue to bring good running backs in, and just keep this thing going. All it's going to do is open up the things on the outside for the guys that can fly. So that's really what we're trying to do. Matt, thanks for the time.
Absolutely.
Get after it against Kutztown this Saturday night. We'll have live coverage Saturday afternoon beginning at 5:30 with the Warrior pregame show. We'll get a chance to talk to both coaches, and we'll preview the game for you. Bob Bertain and I will be live at Eiler Martin Stadium at 5:30 on Bigfoot Country 96.7 and 97.3, streaming online at BigfootPoconos.com. We got a couple more Warriors players to meet, and we'll wrap things up in just a few minutes. Stay with us here on the ESU Coaches Show from Teddy's University. Thanks, bud. No, I'm good. About half done. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. No worries. My man.
Yes, sir.
My man. My dream. We are back at Teddy's University. It's the ESU Coaches Show. We're talking more football right now with Malachi Bowman to my left, TJ Harris to my right, members of the ESU Warriors secondary. And right now they are locking things down this season. It's a great start so far for the team. Malachi, you've had a chance to return kicks for ESU in your career, and also play that defensive backfield. A couple of picks, including one this year. What is the mentality of the defense? That ball hawk mentality really seems to be running through the defense from the front line to the back line.
Yeah, we have a great coach in BI. He puts that in our mind, establishes that. We go hard at practice every day. We work on a lot of ball skills. And this is BI. The guys around me, we're all working hard. We're all competing, and we're all doing it right.
We always talk about communication being important. Talk about how the communication runs through the entire defense on a certain situation. Think of a play, think of what, how the calls get made and how you guys talk to each other.
Communication starts with chemistry, and I feel like our defense this year, we have a lot of chemistry. We're all cool with each other. We all talk to each other, hang out with each other outside of football. So the communication part, it really isn't difficult for us. We're all synergized. We're all cool with each other. So communication really comes easy to us.
Talk about that, TJ, the communication aspect of, getting signals and getting thoughts back, certain ways that you're going to react to what you see the offense do on the other side of the field. And how is that so important to have good communication on that defense?
Communication is key. Our coach, Beau, tells us that all the time. Even if it's something you think is so little, just communicate it. And communicate to the linebackers, corners, linebackers, the D-line, so everybody's on the same page so we won't mess up.
Talk about the intensity of this defense right now. You guys are going after every loose ball. You're forcing fumbles, taking picks, back to the house, doing it all right now.
Yeah. Well, that's just our game. Our defense is real nasty. Defensive line, linebackers, corners, safeties, even the younger guys. You're going to see down the line, there's no fall off from ones, twos, threes. Everybody can do it. Everybody can get a job done.
How is that in the locker room when you have as many guys as you have? I mean, we talked about it with Coach Hags in the running back room. The running back room is deep, but the DB room is very deep as well.
Yeah. You said the locker room? It's real.
Well, I mean, how do you maintain that? Like you said, there may not be a big talent drop off between the ones and the twos and the threes, so everybody knows that they're going to get their chance to make a play.
We all hold each other accountable. Inge hold us accountable, and we hold each other accountable. It's just. And we real close too. It's a real. You could just feel the love in the locker room between just the DBs alone. We were real close. And any other years it hasn't really been like that. But this year is really everybody really close.
I'm going to ask you both the same question. Is there one thing that Coach Billy Inge, and we really got a shout out to Coach Bi, Billy Inge, the defensive back coach here at East Stroudsburg University. What is the thing that he's been able to get through to you that maybe you didn't see coming here to ESU, and might have been technique, it might have been might have been communication. What's the one message that he's really imprinted upon you?
For me, I feel like it's consistency. Day in and day out, he's always preaching to me just be consistent. And coming in here, I wasn't as consistent as I thought I should be. So he kind of established that into my mind. And yeah, the big thing I would say is consistency.
How about you? Consistency, the messages you get from Billy Inge more than anything else, or is there something else that he has imparted to you that has made a difference in the way you play?
Consistency, definitely, but honestly, whatever Inge say, I'm gonna go with it. I really trust him like that. And I never really trusted coaches like that before, because it's some other reasons. But with Inge, it's just.
What is that reason? What?
It's just the love. Okay. It's just the love. When I came in, he really was coming in coaching 4 years ago for me. So we really just clicked from 4 years ago, and it's just been love ever since.
After a heck of a career here at East Stroudsburg University, too. So, again, shout out to Coach Billy Inge. Malachi, thank you so much. What's it going to take to have that great effort against Kutztown?
Again, like I said, consistency. We're going to beat them in every phase of the game, offense, defense, or special teams. If we all can get it done, we'll come out with a dub.
All right, I'm not going to put any pressure on any one of y'all, but I want one of you to get a pick this weekend.
Definitely.
Right?
We're going to try to get that for you.
All right. All right, Malachi and TJ with us here from Teddy's University. More to come from the ESU Coaches Show. We're going to talk to a couple of more softball players when we come back. So stay with us. We're at Teddy's University for the ESU Coaches Show. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir.
Call to the bullpen. It's all right.
Taylor Lipkins, Katie Master, they both transferred in last year, were outfielders.
Taylor Lipkins was a center fielder, right?
Yep. She was that Sports Center top 10 play.
Right. And what? Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm learning your names.
This is Georgia Tim.
Georgia?
Yep, she's a freshman. Are you an outfielder too?
Catcher.
Catcher. Behind the plate. And that would leave?
Taylor Lipkins.
Taylor. Got Taylor.
Key SAC Scholar Athlete of the Year. 4-0. They both transferred in last year.
Taylor and?
Katie.
Katie, your last name's Master, right? That's what I got the chance to announce a couple of games last year.
We are live on the ESU Coaches Show at Teddy's University in Stroudsburg. We're here every Monday night at 5 o'clock throughout the football season, so you still have a few weeks to come on down and join us, bring the family down, have a kitchen sink cheesesteak. You'll be glad you did, really. I'm Chuck Seese with members of the ESU Softball team. To my left, Georgia Tim, who's a freshman. Welcome to ESU.
Thank you.
To my right, interior right, I have Taylor Lipkins, a center fielder with the program. Thanks for coming out tonight for the Coaches Show.
Thank you for having me.
And Katie Master to my outside right, a Warrior center fielder. I want to ask all three of you ladies, because Georgia is a freshman, you two are transfers to the program. What made you decide upon ESU?
I think the environment here, the team is very much like a family, so I feel like you don't find that a lot of places. So seeing everybody the first time I came and saw a practice, everybody was so welcoming and so kind. So I feel like everybody's so open here that it felt like the right place to be.
All right, I'm going to turn the microphone this way and ask you the same thing, Taylor.
Yeah, so I came from a very small school, so this school gave me more of a college feel. All the sports teams are very good. It felt like everyone's a big family here, which is not something that I got at my old school, so that's probably the biggest reason I chose ESU.
It may be an unfair comparison, but when you are in a smaller school, is it fair to say that it has more of a high schoolish feel because of a smaller community?
Yeah, it definitely fits. Everyone knew everyone knew everyone's business. It was just, it felt like I was in high school, and it wasn't that fun.
Now, I got a word for that, all right? And you guys can use this. This is free of charge. Nobody needs to know your business. So if anybody asks you your business, you just say none ya.
Yeah.
None, as in none your business. All right, you remember that. It might come. It might be the worst piece of advice you ever got. I don't know. But Katie, talk about your coming to East Stroudsburg University, and you got popped right into that lineup. You and Taylor both, made big contributions to last year's team. What was it like coming here to ESU?
Honestly, when I first got here, it kind of just felt like home. I felt like I got here and I just loved being around everybody, the atmosphere. It just felt like my second home. And meeting Coach and just knowing that it was a winning program was something that was really important to me. And I knew we had the tools to make a run, and we made a run last year. We fell a little short, but we still did phenomenal. And it was just really awesome to come to a team and program like this. So,
do you feel any pressure to get back to that spot, or is it just a matter? And we talked to Sarah and your teammates earlier. Is it a matter of individual goals that makes the team better? Is it a matter of team goals that makes the team better? Is it a mix of both?
I feel like some people might feel the pressure, but honestly, we just got to go out there and be ourselves. We got to know who we are, and that's the most important thing. Because if you put the pressure and the goals, if you have that too high of a standard, it's hard to meet that expectation. So you just got to go out every day and do what you got to do, and just have fun. That's the most important thing.
What was it like for you to insert yourself, as a leader on this team? You played a great outfield last year for ESU and had some awesome at-bats as well. So, inserting yourself into a lineup, and it can't be an easy thing. There's got to be pressure.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt some pressure. I had some big shoes to fill. It was a lot, but it was nice being able to come in and do it. I'd already did it at my old school. I was already a starter there, so it was nice to be able to come in here and kind of transition. Everyone took me in as a family. Everyone was very welcoming, which made it a lot easier. I think the chemistry was built fairly quickly, so it just made the process easier to do and took some of the pressure off of me to perform to the best I could.
How does chemistry develop? It has to be the same with any team. Every team has a little bit of a different dynamic based on the size of the roster, right? A basketball team, 12 to 15 guys, but a softball team, is going to have a lot more than that. So is chemistry harder to develop with a bigger team?
No, I think it's just about us getting together outside of the sport, hanging out, doing things, knowing each other on a personal level and not so much on a softball athletic level. It makes that much of a difference, and it makes it easier for us to communicate on the field, off the field. We know that we're all here for each other no matter what. We have girls who will text us in the middle of the night saying, hey, I need to talk. So we're all here for each other. We know it. So it's just about us hanging out and building that chemistry so we can have it on and off the field.
I'm going to turn to the freshman again, Georgia, and ask you about maybe a teammate or two that you've looked to so far on this roster this year that have helped, guide your path here at ESU.
Yeah, I think so far, I look up to Delaney a lot. She's our senior catcher, so definitely taking in as much as I can from her, hoping maybe fill her shoes when she's gone. So, I've been trying to take in as much as I can from her. Definitely Katie and Taylor, they're really positive on the team, so being around them is like really uplifting. See what everybody's doing, kind of gauge how the seniors are now, so we know like, okay, we need to meet and exceed the expectation for next year and the spring season coming up. So it's really just getting to know everybody, seeing what everybody's got, and just building that team chemistry.
Kind of a universal question in sports that just went out of my mind. So I'm going to say thank you so much for being here. I remember what it was. We'll talk about what are your individual goals that you have for this year coming into the program as a freshman.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like coming in as a freshman, I mean, you're a freshman, you got to earn your spot, and I am 110% in to do that. I really look forward to working with Delaney, the coaches, a lot. I mean, I look up to Delaney a lot. She's a great catcher. She has a great arm, great bat. I would love to be able to, get some time with her this year. That's a big goal of mine, just get on the field sometime this year, in the spring and the fall, get some innings in, and come out next year even stronger and hopefully fill Delaney's shoes. So I know that's a big ask because she's a great girl on the team. But yeah, that's probably my biggest goal for the year.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a double playground ball, but I turned it into a fielder's choice. Georgia, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
I'm going to thank Taylor Lipkins and Katie Master as well, and thank you guys. Great talking to you, and I know the fall season gives you a chance to get some really good competition, so I know you guys are going to make the most of it. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and wrap things up for the ESU Coaches Show right after this from Teddy's University. Stay with us. One mic.
There you go.
One mic.
Good, I like that better. It's less work for me.
It is.
You are.
I'm Chuck Seese. We are live on the Coaches Show from Teddy's University, and we're here to wrap things up with a couple of special subjects. First, we're going to talk to a guy that's been to almost as many ESU football games as I have in my broadcasting career. 350. Maury Mullen is an ESU faculty member and an ESU supporter, a longtime community supporter here in East Stroudsburg, not only of the university, but in the town of East Stroudsburg and with East Stroudsburg High School. You've been involved in a lot of athletes' careers. What has attracted you to be such a supporter of athletics?
It's amazing. I grew up in the Coal Regions, and Coal Region football is like number one on a Friday night. And when I transferred to East Stroudsburg University in 1974. I was actually attending Dowd's first game as a head coach, and it progressed since that. It's my Saturday afternoon. Some people may like Penn State or Notre Dame. ESU, it makes my day. It makes my fall. And then I was able to teach Jimmy Terwilliger in class, and then he became head coach, so even it drew me more to the program, to the point that about 12, 13 years ago, I began giving a scholarship to the football program. So I love seeing the Warriors play in action. I've been everywhere from Michigan to North Carolina, New York, almost all the PSAC schools when we play them at their stadiums.
Well, it's a fantastic thing to be able to follow a team that's had the success throughout the decades. I mean, when I came to ESU in 1982, I thought, they've won some championships in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and maybe the championships have not been as few and or a little, more few and far between, but what they're building right now is really something special.
It's amazing. I've seen the progression. It's always tough for many fans to support a team when they're down, when you go the 1-10 or 3-8, but you hang with them and hope for the best. And Coach Jimmy Terwilliger's done an amazing job. I know there's more scholarships coming in. The university has been very cooperative, adding the number of players that they need to have to compete. And I know this game coming up against Kutztown is a big game. For me, I look back, it is 350 games. I've only missed 15 home games over 50 years. And it's just special being there, the whole atmosphere, and getting to know my scholarship recipients. I'm lucky enough that since I retired, I have them over for dinner once every other month, and some of their friends come over. So I cook every night, and I just throw a little feast for them. And it's just the personal touch with the program. And it's like the Warriors are like number one in my heart, and always will be.
Well, we thank you for the support that you bring to the ESU Warriors, and it's part of the passion of being a member of the ESU community that really runs, and not just with football. And I know you follow other sports than football here at ESU.
I do. I started also because of Coach Wilson, a basketball scholarship. And in fact, one of the players, Michael Weiss, and I remain in contact till this day.
How's he doing?
He's doing well. I visited him in the Czech Republic 2 years ago. He wanted me to come over in the worst way. The last time, in fact, during COVID, when the university closed down, he actually said, could he stay at my house for a week or so? Turned out to be 5 weeks, but at the same time.
We talk about a guy that came to ESU from not out of nowhere, but I mean, Jeff Wilson has ties all throughout the basketball community all over the globe, but a guy that really had to find himself at ESU, but he was one of the best student scholar athletes that we've ever had here at East Stroudsburg University. I think that crosses all sports. I think that's fair to say.
Phenomenal. And this year I have my scholarship recipient, I haven't met him yet, is from the South Sudan. I also am able to give a scholarship in track, and with the track situation, I coach track, so I thought I couldn't neglect that.
Well, Maury, we certainly appreciate your support of Warrior Athletics, and thanks for joining us tonight.
No worries. As Jimmy Terwilliger says, blood runs thick. Go Warriors.
Blood runs thick. We will see you Saturday night at Ida Martin Stadium. Well, it's time to wrap things up with AJ's View. AJ Monsman, the Warriors have a big game against Kutztown this Saturday night. But again, having the time to give the players a little bit of rest, get some healthy bodies, and maybe get some bumps and bruises healed a little bit. It's a big time to have a bye week.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of what we planned it for. Kind of wanted it going into Kutztown. Kutztown's very talented football team that has given us some trouble in the past. So, trying to just change things up, and that's how the schedule came out. We're happy for it. Just glad to have the bye week, get our players rested, give them a little time off. But, now that this week hit, it's all about Kutztown, and it's time to rock and roll.
When I mentioned it to the other players that were on the show tonight, the two losses last year, Kutztown and Shepherd, and if you figure you can get one of those wins, that possibly puts you in a 10-win situation. If you get both of those wins, then you literally could run the table. But I know you can't focus on it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kutztown and Shepherd, teams that gave us trouble in the past, and even before last year. But Chuck, the end of the season is the furthest thing from the top of my mind. The only thing on my mind right now is this week, and is we need to have a great preparation, because Kutztown walking in is a very talented team. I said it again, and we need to prepare. We need to come out and play, and we just need to go 1-0 this week.
Well, A.J. Monsman has agreed to join me on Friday night at East Stroudsburg South when the Cavaliers host the Freedom Patriots. A.J. is going to be my color man in the booth, Maury. I'm pretty excited about
that. Will be very exciting. And go Cavaliers.
Go Cavaliers at Ed Christian Stadium. So you're going to have to brief me, because I can't say that I know a lot about the Freedom Patriots. So we're going to have to go to lunch later on this week to get the briefing.
Hey, there might be a fight in the office. I mean, Coach Twig, obviously, East Stroudsburg South, but Coach Santella went to Freedom. So who knows? Could be a fight in the office, but now I'm excited to call the game with you, and it should be a good one on Friday night.
Great. We're looking forward to it. We're also looking forward to Saturday's live coverage against Kutztown from Eiler Martin Stadium. We'll be live on the air at 5:30 Saturday afternoon with the Warrior Coaches Show. I know Maury will be at the tailgate and at the game. He doesn't miss a trick here at East Stroudsburg University. So join us. It's Family Day at Eiler Martin Stadium. I know some people are going to start tailgating as early as 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday if they can get in. So Dr. Snook, we may need a hookup in the tailgate lot, but it's going to be a great atmosphere at Eiler Martin Stadium at Gregory Dowds Field on Saturday afternoon. And it really boils down to this because they don't play a team of Kutztown's caliber throughout the rest of the season, maybe Shepherd, but Kutztown really, it's a battle between East Stroudsburg and Kutztown that could determine the Eastern Division Championship. And when the Warriors want to win a division championship, they like to think that all roads go through ESU this season with Kutztown and Shepherd coming up. That's got to be big for the team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our guys, kind of got a taste of it last year. I think, they obviously want a shot this year, and we're just looking to compete. And if you want to compete with the big bucks, you got to beat the big one. And Kutztown, defending champs last year, great football team, and we're excited to play it on Saturday at Eiler Martin.
Well, I'd like to thank all the players that were here tonight. Thanks to Coach Matt Hagelgans and Coach Jaime Wohlbach, ESU's Jimmy Terwilliger as well, Maury Mullen and AJ. And we will be back next Monday night at 5 o'clock for the next edition of the ESU Coaches Show from Teddy's University. So come on down and join us, and thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll talk to you next week from Teddy's.